This video will discuss the HyFlex or hybrid flexible model. This model has been around for over a decade, but has recently been a hot topic in discussions of fall 2020 scenarios across higher ed. The HyFlex model emphasizes student choice in being able to access all activities within a course in any of three modalities: face-to-face in the classroom, remote access to the face-to-face activities in real time or remote synchronous participation, or remote access to an asynchronous version of the activities or remote asynchronous. In other words, it is a student-directed multimodal learning experience. The HyFlex model was developed in contexts very different from Center, often in contexts where many students in a course are non-traditional students or have work schedules or other responsibilities that shift from week to week, or long commutes. This model has so far served a student body with a mix of needs by allowing them to engage in the course in their preferred way, weekly, daily, or by topic. HyFlex has four central principles. The first principle is learner choice. The idea here is that a HyFlex course will provide meaningful alternative participation modes and enable students to choose between these modes depending on the day, depending on the week, or depending on the topic. The key here is the idea of meaningful alternative participation modes that are equivalent to each other. So the second principle is equivalency. This means that the learning outcomes that are met by the learning activities in each of the participation modes are equivalent. Students are getting the same thing, whether they choose to attend face-to-face or whether they engage with the course only asynchronously. The third principle is reusability. This means that as much as possible, instructors in the HyFlex model try to use the same materials or the same artifacts here from learning activities in each mode. So rather than making a separate quiz for asynchronous students and synchronous remote and face-to-face students, the quiz would be the same. It would be the same learning object for all students. And finally, accessibility. The idea behind this final principle of HyFlex is that students have equitable access to all participation modes, and they can select from the modes that make sense for them, so that they don't have obstacles in any particular mode of access to the class. So thinking about HyFlex in the context of Center for fall 2020, the idea would be a little bit different. Even though in the traditional HyFlex model, students can choose which modality in which to engage. In the Center context, it would be more likely that some students would be on campus, some students might be remote, and some students might not be able to access those synchronous activities remotely, and so would be using the asynchronous mode, not necessarily choosing from day to day, but maybe just as their situation for the semester. One of the benefits of this model is that it engages all of the groups of students that we're likely to have in the fall. It provides their preferred option. And so if students prefer to attend face-to-face classes, but they aren't able to be on campus, they can access those remotely via synchronous offerings. If that doesn't work for them, they're able to access asynchronously. And so this is an equitable model. However, it does have some challenges. There's a very high preparation cost associated with HyFlex. Everything has to be accessible in each of the modalities in an equivalent way, which means the creation of asynchronous content delivery as well as synchronous content delivery. In contexts where HyFlex is common, it's not uncommon to have a course release and 6 months of work with an instructional designer to move a course to the HyFlex modality. And we just really don't have that kind of time looking at fall 2020. So this is one of the major downsides to the HyFlex model is the work up front, not just in creating the materials, but in learning how to manage all three of these different environments. Here are some resources on HyFlex if you'd like to read more. This PowerPoint will be uploaded as a file, so you can click these links and access the resources. CTL is also happy to help you think through how you might want to implement some of these strategies in your course for the fall, so please don't hesitate to contact us. Thanks.